Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to do this fun little Christmas sparkly liner look. So to jump right in, I'm going to pick up my Cover FX concealer and just put it over the lid just to give it a nice flat appearance and make whatever color I put over it really stick and look good. And I'm just blending this out with my Real Techniques fluffy concealer brush. Then I'm going to pick up the e.l.f. sponge and I'm just going to pat that over my eyelid just to pick up any extra product. And I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take that bone color and just place that over the lid just to make everything nice and smooth and easier to blend out any shadows. And in that same palette, I'm going to pick up a fluffy blending brush and choose that more gray tone shadow, and I'm going to put that right in my crease to give myself some more depth and dimension. And I also like to take it underneath the lower lash line and just really make it blend seamlessly together. Now I'm going to dip into this palette that I actually just ordered off Amazon, and I'm choosing the white color to start with, and I'm just using a Sephora Professional's angled liner brush, and I'm just going to start tracing a wing shape as I normally would. And the reason I'm choosing to do white instead of black is because I'm going to pick up green and red later on, and it's just much easier to take away any mistakes that I may make, or to just simply cover up white with the red and the green. And once I get to the outer corner, I'm just going to connect it to my lower lash line and bring the top portion to meet the center. I'm going to make sure the inner corner is really covered with that white pigment, and then we're just going to move on to picking up the green color. The nice part about already drawing the wing is now we just need to place the colors on top of the white portion that we already drew. So I'm just putting the green in the center of my lid, and I really just want to make sure I pack the color on there so that the green glitter doesn't get drowned out by the white underneath. And the fun part about this look is that it doesn't have to be perfect as far as the wing goes, because we're just going to put some glitter on top of it, so it doesn't need to be that perfect sharp line because the glitter sort of adds some texture to it that gives you the chance to sort of get away with maybe not making your wing as perfect as it normally would be. With that being said, I still did try to keep the outer corner really nice and sharp and clean. That way when you apply the glitter, you don't lose the shape of that nice sharp edge that you like in a wing. And I'm just going to dip back into that green to connect the white and the red to it more seamlessly and make it blend a little bit better. Now I'm going to pick up my lash glue, and I'm just going to work on section by section. So I'm going to start with the white, brush it on, and then pick up some glitter. I'm using just a small liner brush here, and I'm just going to gently place this on the lash glue that we applied. And you want to be extra careful because you don't want any glitter to get in your eye, so just work with small amounts. Now I'm just going to pick up this glitter pigment from e.l.f. and I'm just going to place this over that white glitter just to give it a little bit more dimension, because this does have a little bit of blue and sort of iridescent color into it, which I really like. Now I'm just going to do the same thing but with the green section. So I'll apply a little bit more glue, dip into the green glitter, and just tap that onto the section that the glue is on. Now we'll move on to the red portion. This part can be a little bit tricky, just so you stay true to that shape and don't lose any of it when you apply the glitter. And before we move on to lashes, I want to just take my liquid liner from Morphe, and I'm just going to tap this right at the base of my lash line so that it will really conceal the black band on my false lashes. I'm just going to put some lash glue on the lash band, and while I wait for that to dry, I'm just going to curl my own lashes. And once that glue on the lashes gets really tacky, I'm going to take my tweezers and just place it directly on top of the black liner that we put over the glitter. And to ensure that the lashes are really on there, I like to flip my tweezers over and just give them a nice good tap with the blunt end of the tweezers just to make sure they're really sticking well. And I'm just going to go back into the Kat Von D palette and pick up that brown shade with my Sigma Pointed Crease E48 and really just deepen the crease to give a little bit more depth and dimension. Now we are going to move on to the face. So I already do have a primer on. I'm wearing the Smashbox Photo Finish, and on top of that I'm going to put the Studio Skin foundation from Smashbox as well. I love the coverage of this foundation. It's super good and it really does wear for a very long time. Moving on to concealer, I've created my own little cocktail that I really love. I love the Tarte Shape Tape as the base, and on top of it I put the Beauty Counter Skin Twin Creamy Concealer just to give it a little more hydration and some more brightness. And I'm blending this out with the e.l.f. sponge. This is the smaller one that's a little bit more narrow, and I just bought it the other day at Target. It was only $5 and I'm actually really impressed with it. I really like the shape. It's very, very soft and it blends out product really nicely. So once I have that all blended out and smooth, I'm going to pick up the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Face Powder with a tapered Sigma brush. And I'm just going to really gently tap that underneath the under eye to prevent any creasing, kind of bring in any other areas where I tend to crease a little bit. And then I'm going to use a Bare Minerals foundation with a nice thick kabuki brush, which will just give me a little bit more coverage where I want it. Now we're going to move on to some bronzer. I'm going to use the Morphe M530 brush with the Ofra Bronzer in Versatile Matte. I really like this one. It's a great color for me to add just some nice warmth to the face and to contour a bit as well. For a blush, I'm going to use MAC Cosmetics Raisin with the Real Techniques powder brush, and I'm just going to pat that on the cheeks to add a little bit more color. Moving on to brows, I'm going to use the Beauty Counter Brow Pencil in the shade Light, and I'm just going to brush up the hairs and just really kind of just fill in any sparse areas I have. And then once I get all that filled in, I'm going to move on to the tail, just add a little bit of shape and height, and just fill it in as I go. And to set the brows, I'm going to use the NYX Brow Mascara in the color Chocolate. For mascara, I'm going to pick up NYX Worth the Hype, and I'm just going to use this to really blend my lashes into the falsies. I'm also going to bring it down to my lower lashes and really wiggle it in there to get those nice and coated. Then I'm going to pick up a Q-tip and clean up any mess I made. And while that area is nice and dry, I'm going to take a white eyeliner and just use that to connect the white in the corner and brighten up the eye. And following that, I'm going to take my highlighter from Dose of Colors and a Morphe highlighter brush and just really use that to pop the cheeks and add a little bit more fun shimmer for the holidays. Now to my favorite part is the lips. And I'm going to use the shade Cruella by NARS. And instead of just going straight in with a liner, which is what I used to do, I learned from Katy Jane Hughes to just sort of start in the middle of your lips, especially with the color as bold as red, and then work your way to the outer edges. This definitely gives you a lot more control over the color and makes cleaning up any messes a lot easier. Then once I start making my way towards the edges of my lips is when I'll pick up a lip liner. This is the shade Sienna by NYX, and this just gives you a lot more ability to just sort of draw more detailed lines and just make sure your lips are nice and symmetrical. And my last little trick is to just give a little fake smile to make sure you don't have any gaps and make sure your lines are nice and symmetrical. And we are done, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you choose to wear a fun, glittery, sparkly liner for the holidays, make sure you tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. I hope you guys like this video, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.